calls in 03 717 22 3344.
When was the last time you saw someone score with a knuckleball free kick? We're going to take a look at why we're not seeing them anymore and explain a bit about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s after that Ronaldo strike against Portsmouth in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner.
Now, no ball is perfectly aerodynamic, so as it travels it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Football's most prolific free kick taker, Juninho Pernambucano, perfected the technique but didn't invent it. He was inspired by players from the 90s and even the 50s. So how do you do it? You have to hit the ball head on with as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Hitting by the valve helps with that short contact time as it's the hardest part of the football. So why don't we see knuckleballs much anymore? It's because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season there's been a
Good evening and welcome to the Rory Jennings phone-in today with me, who's clearly not Rory Jennings, is Majestic in for Rory after another huge day of Premier League action. So much to get our teeth into. I'm sure Rory will be happy he's not here today after a disgraceful VAR decision at Stamford Bridge that enraged the Fulham fans. I can see them in the gallery unhappy, and fans across the country as Josh King's first half goal was chalked off for a soft decision and VAR got involved once again and spoilt their day. It was that day that VAR stole the show On my Sunday show, The Final Word with Alan Pardew, we've slammed VAR for its terrible decisions. What will be the final straw of this awful introduction into the beautiful game? Call us right now on 03 717 223344. Elsewhere, Newcastle and Leeds drew 0-0. And Spurs had a reality check against Bournemouth. Man United pulled off a smash and grab win against Burnley. And Jack Grealish, he was left out of Thomas Tuchel's England squad, and he put on a 5-star display today as Everton beat Wolves and Sunderland picked up a huge win against Brentford. And we want your views on all those games. 03 717 223344. Remember, we're live on YouTube and also on your smart TV, so come and see us in brilliant HD from our beautiful 17th floor studio here in London. But now it's all about you, your opinion. Call us 03 717 223344. It is Majestic here on talkSPORT. That's right, Majestic in for Rory Jennings this evening. Thank you very much for having me, and you're very welcome to your Saturday night phone-in where you get to have your say on today's action. I'm fresh from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today after watching Spurs lose 1-0 against Bournemouth, who were absolutely fantastic today, it must be said. And their support, massive shout to the black and red cherries. They were absolutely tremendous at the Spurs Stadium today. They rocked the house. Let's go over to Adam, who's a Man United fan. He joins us on talkSPORT. Good evening, Adam. Hello, Adam. We got Adam?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Listen, a relief at the end. You got the win 3-2. It was nervous, though.
Yeah, it's one of them again, isn't it? You know, another poor performance from us. Grinded up 3 points. But ultimately, I just think it papers over cracks.
Yeah, well, the cracks are clearly being seen in the last couple of weeks, of course, with the thing in the week and some of the comments from your manager in the press conferences. You know, post this game, what are your thoughts? We're going into an international break. Are you someone... do you think he's going to be there after the international break? Yeah,
it's a hard one to call, isn't it? Because obviously he's only 3 games in, well, 4 including the shock horror cup exit against Grimsby. But ultimately, you know, I don't think he will be. I don't think he'll get the sack because Ineos bought his contract out for £11.5 million last year. I think he'll walk. He looks fed up. If you've seen him in the dugout today, he just looked like a man that's just lost of ideas, looks fed up, and just looks disinterested.
He also always seems to me to try and detach himself from the players at times when it comes to taking responsibility. And there's always that thing of like, you know, when he says, I'll walk away and I won't take a payment, and, you know, almost like he's trying to guarantee that his reputation is intact regardless of what happens at Manchester United. You know, a lot of people harp on about the fact that, you know, when Jurgen Klopp first came to Liverpool, they didn't, you know, start as well. You know, Arteta has been a process at Arsenal. You know, you as a fan, Adam, do you trust in this manager? Because one thing I will say, he talks very well. When he's not saying silly stuff like, sometimes I hate my players, you know, post-match, I normally listen to him and think, you know what, there's something here, they can build on it. Of course, the performance against Arsenal, you lost, but you looked a lot better. Do you personally have trust in this manager to be the guy to take Manchester United back up towards places they should be?
Sometimes I want to quit.
There he is again.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's a question that is always asked of us Man United fans. Do we trust in this manager? Because ultimately, the manager's job at Man United is the most under pressure in the world currently. Yeah. But to answer your question, probably not. If you only look at his record as a manager so far, it doesn't speak very loudly, does it? So,
and the thing about Wednesday's defeat is that's 1 of 3 competitions done now already for you guys.
Exactly. Well, exactly, yeah. The only thing we've got to fight for now is the FA Cup, and I don't think we'll win that. And I don't think we'll get top half this season based on the performances so far. So, yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't trust him. I don't trust in his judgment. And also, what I'd like to say as well is we've bought in a £70 million centre forward in Benjamin Sesko.
Who doesn't start?
Who doesn't start,
it's
you know.
Crazy.
And it's crazy. It's £70 million on the bench. And the most craziest thing about it is obviously he doesn't trust in Rasmus Højlund. Now he's gone to Napoli, from what I believe. And he's brought in a centre forward. He just doesn't start. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
And the thing for me is I genuinely think the goalkeeping situation at Manchester United is an emergency. That That should have been one of the things that got ironed out in the summer. You know, for me personally, as soon as I'm hearing that Donnarumma's going to Manchester City and Edison, it's his time over at Man City, I'll go in for Edison. I'll do what Tevez did with you guys and go to the blue, take it from the blue to the red, because that's still the top keeper.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. You know, I think we've put our eggs in one basket this transfer window. We've gone all for the forwards, and I can understand why we've done that, but ultimately there are other positions that need to be filled, and the most worrying thing is we've got 2 days to the end of the window to fill them vacancies.
Well, let me ask you this as well, Adam. I had this conversation earlier with a friend of mine who's a Man United fan. If you had a fully fit, fully focused Marcus Rashford, a fully fit, fully focused Garnacho, are they as good as, if not better than, Cunha and Mbeumo?
No, I don't think so.
Not.
Cunha had an outstanding campaign with Wolves last season.
He did.
And then,
but even I'm talking about the levels of Rashford at his peak.
You see, it's all about attitude, isn't it? All about attitude.
But then I wonder why, for example, this manager can't seem to get a tune out of certain players. And, you know, I'm done with him. I also think the treatment of Kobbie Mainoo has been absolutely terrible. Like, where is that guy? He came through Man United. He looked brilliant. You know, he scored, and he's literally won you trophies. And he's now fighting with Bruno Fernandes for a position, a man that never gets subbed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And what really confuses me and a lot of other Man United fans is the fact that he come out the other week and said, oh, Kobbie Mainoo's got to fight for his place. I'm sorry, but we've been absolutely terrible at the start of the season. No one in that 11 deserves to start in place at this current time. Everyone has been awful. So, I mean, we just lost against Grimsby, who are a League Two, who are a League Two outfit. So, who's got to fight for their place at this current time? Yeah, I completely agree.
What's the answer, though, Ad? You know, if he was to walk tomorrow, who do you get in?
That's the toughest question. Obviously,
Jose Mourinho?
Probably not. He's probably going to go to Rangers by the looks of it if Russell Martin doesn't start getting results at Rangers. So that's the question on everyone's lips. If we get rid of Ruben Amorim, or if he walks by choice, who replaces him? But personally, I think we should have gone for Thomas Frank. Personally, brilliant manager. I think he'll do an exceptional job at Tottenham.
What about? Well, listen, I was there today at Spurs, and I tell you what, Bournemouth were fantastic. Iriola, is he not someone would Manchester United should be looking at?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's doing a brilliant job at Bournemouth, and Bournemouth won't have the biggest of budgets in the league. They're obviously competing against some top end budgets in the division. Yeah, I'd 100% take Iriola. Yeah.
Brilliant, cool. Thank you very much, Adam. Earlier on as well in the Championship, it finished with Blackburn Rovers losing at home 2-0 against Norwich. Let's go over to Gary, who's a Blackburn fan. Good evening, Gal.
How are you, pal? All right?
Yeah, I'm probably doing better than you are today after,
Oh, I'm not talking about Rovers. I'm talking about that VAR decision today.
We'll skip the Rovers today then.
No. I don't go anymore because I'm a Benkies out guy. But I'll tell you this, I've turned it over and it without discussing that decision.
Which one are we talking about, Gary? Because there's been a few today.
The one at Chelsea was the one when
Josh King,
that young man scored his first goal at Premiership that were ruled off because a Chelsea defender put his foot under a Fulham's player's boot. And that's what it was.
It was, he was in the flow. He's done a step over. He's moved away from the man. Where is he supposed to put his foot, Gal?
Well, 9 times out of 10, it would have landed on the grass.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a disgrace that has done the same. It's absolute rubbish.
What is the answer? Do we get rid of VAR? Is it time for it to go?
Yeah, I'd say so. If we ever brought it into the Championship, God help us, there'd be riots. I mean, people are paying good money. You know, what do for them Fulham fans pay today at Chelsea?
Oh, yeah.
50, 60 quid, and they're robbed.
Like you said as well, the celebrations for Josh King, the poor lad, he's done so well to score that goal. And then,
I mean, he had to run from the halfway line. What was Tosin doing? He's got a stride. We had him at Blackburn on loan. He's fast. He strides. He turned him inside out and put it through his legs. and he's still got the goal disallowed. I tell you, the Usic's manager, the Fulham's manager, whatever he gets fined, they should have a GoFundMe and we'll all put a tenner in for him.
Right.
Because what he said
we need to ask the nation.
Right.
Who's backing the GoFundMe page? I like that, Gav. It's a good idea.
And I'll tell you something else. I'll mention another thing about Man United. Have you noticed when all these fans come on, you don't get any Mancunians on, do you? Because I'll tell you this, because they know they've been there when United was poor. And all the young lads who follow United have been told the story from the dads when we were in the second division. You know, Tottenham were in the second division. Do you ever remember that? Well, I do. I went to White Hart Lane when Glenn Arnold scored 2 goals against us. You know, 2 great free kicks. You know, and that's why United fans don't come on and start slagging the team off.
Yeah, well,
you know, Mancunians.
But
you
again,
just think about it.
No, it's a great shout. Gary, thank you very much. Gary there, absolutely appalled by the VAR decision today at Chelsea, which saw Fulham go a goal up in a very important game, and all of a sudden the momentum shifts. They go and lose 2-0. And if I was a Fulham fan, I'd be fuming, especially after last week as well, with the fact that the push in the penalty area was never even looked at for the Manchester United goal. He's got every right to be enraged, Marco Silva. Get your calls into us. It's been a huge day of football, whether you won or lost, or you're feeling enraged like Gary from VAR. We're here for you. And Newcastle fans, as you head home from that draw against Leeds, are you going to be happy and relieved that Isak saga is finally coming to an end in one way or another? Phone lines are open, 03717 22 3344. And I'll hear from you next on the Majestic Phone-In Show here on talkSPORT. What a tune. This is the Majestic phone-in on talkSPORT. I'm in for Rory Jennings this evening. This is the place you get to have your say on national radio and to the world on YouTube about today's action in the world of football. And we saw Leeds and Newcastle share the spoils at Ellen Road. A very sort of eventless 0-0 draw. Newcastle fans, I bet you're going to be absolutely buzzing after 7 o'clock on Monday, regardless whether or not Isaac is still a Toonami member, because it will be over. I think the Saga's really spoilt the start to your season, only managing to get 2 points out of a possible 9. It's not the way you want to start the season. 03717 223344 and Leeds. It's a worthy point at home. And of course, today seen Sunderland get that late victory, winning 2-1 against Brentford. My good co-host, the legend that is the experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew, who I work with on a Sunday night here on talkSPORT, he always says, win 10 games in the Premier League, and that is the secret to keeping you up. Now, Sunderland have won 2. So absolutely fantastic for them. A great start to life in the Premier League. 03717 223344 is the number to call us. Give us a call. Let us know how you feel about today. Speaking of Men in Black, I was there at Spurs today, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I've got to say, I thought Simon Hooper was absolutely dreadful today. He was the ref in charge at Tottenham. Listen, Bournemouth, I want to hear from Bournemouth fans today because he was absolutely tremendous. Physical, won every second ball, well organised, on threat, always going forward. And how good is it, in a bit of a business terms, Semenyo, getting him on a new contract. Bournemouth, fantastic. I want to hear from the Cherries today. 03717 223344. Let's go to Sam. He's a Man United fan. He was at Old Trafford today. How are we, Sam? Have we got Sam? Sam, are you there, sir? Okay, let's go over to George, who's a Chelsea fan. Good evening, George.
How you doing, Majestic? All right?
I'm very well, my friend. A good win for you today. Of course, you went a goal down, but it was chalked off. When you saw that happen, did you think that was fair or not?
It's a foul. It's a foul, isn't it? It's the end of the day, isn't it? It's like, you know, Chelsea have never had the rub of the green. We're suddenly getting the rub of the green. We had it against Palace, so that's 2 now we've had. But you know me, Majestic. I always come on and talk about Chelsea, about winning the league and all this and that. But I want to talk about Caicedo, really. I mean, come on. You've got to admit, that is the Rolls Royce of midfielders.
Well,
that boy,
I expect him to be a Rolls Royce at 115 million.
Yeah, so do you remember when that's what I want to come to. So do you remember, like, when we bought him for 115 million, everyone was laughing. Everybody was laughing about him. 115 million. Now he's showing it. Caicedo is he's the best central defending midfielder in the world. 100%.
Wow.
And with him in our team, and the team we've got right now, I think Chelsea are going to kick on. I ain't going to say what I normally say.
No, I agree in terms of kicking on. 100% that you're going to kick on. My only worry for Chelsea is the lack of sort of standout leaders I see in that team. Now, you mentioned Caicedo. I think he's someone who's growing and growing and growing. You know, you look at the Chelsea team that won the Champions League, Thiago Silva being there. He just oozed leadership.
Okay, so then we got Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, and again, I think they're all growing into that role. The longer
then we got Reece James. Then we got Mark Cucurella. Look what Cucurella has done. Look at his CV.
Oh yeah, the CV is tremendous for Cucurella.
Chelsea have got leaders in there. They've got leaders in it. Yes, they got a young squad, but look what they got in there. They got a lot of leaders. They got a lot.
Listen, I think you've got one of the best squads in the league because there's so much
100%.
depth there, and you are again going for the right players and you're identifying the places that are weak. As I said, I just still feel that it gets to a point. I know it's a bit further down the line from when people were arguing over penalties under Poch, and I don't think under Maresca that's necessarily going to happen. But when you have a lot of those sort of young, dynamic players who are, you know, got a bit of swag about them, etc., I think sometimes that can be a position where if there's no one in that changing room to go, wait, you know, and pull them up. The JTs of yesteryear, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know.
but Yeah, but you got to remember, Majestic, those players, the JT, they've gone. Show me a team right now that's got like the players of Gerrard's, the Keanes, the Kanes, the JT. There's none around.
No, I agree with that. But then you look at, say, for example, I look at Liverpool and I see Van Dijk, for example. I look at Arsenal, I see Saliba, Gabriel. They've got some leaders in their team, I think, just sort of presence-wise. That's my only thing. But
don't you think? Yeah, but don't you think Cucurella? Don't you think Cucurella's got that? Don't you think Fernandes got that? Don't you think?
Yeah, Fernandes 100%. But listen, it's exciting times for Chelsea. You know, at the end of the day, World Cup club winners. You know, that can't be sniffed at all. You've had a good transfer window. You're still making moves, and you'll be making moves until Monday. I heard the bid's gone in for the lad from Barcelona as well.
Yeah. Lopez, yeah. But I just heard this as well. I just heard this. With what just happened to with the lab, Chelsea have pulled the plug on this loan with Jackson.
Apparently so. Apparently that is the talk. The last thing I saw was him in a private jet over to Germany. So
and apparently his agent says the plane goes only one way. So, you know, is Jackson going to come back or not? You know, that's the thing. But anyway, listen, I'm going to put this here. I normally say Chelsea are going to win the league. Do you know what I'm going to say right now? With Caicedo and the team we got, watch out for that Champions League. We're going to have another one.
I like it. George, brilliant call. Thank you very much, my friend. George here, Chelsea fan. Forever the optimist, but there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic for Chelsea right now. I'll tell you what as well, João Pedro, what a player. That is such a great buy for Chelsea, and I think he's someone that's going to maybe be the missing, delivering the missing part that's been in that Chelsea lineup for a while now. Proven Premier League scorer. Let's go to Josh. He's an Arsenal fan. I'm sure he is looking forward to tomorrow's game on the eve of what could be a title contending game. How are we, Josh?
How's it going? Can you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear, Josh. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm over the moon that Tottenham realised who they are.
I wouldn't say Tottenham realise who they are today, Josh. I think we've got to give a lot of credit to Bournemouth. I think people cannot underestimate the quality.
Yeah, you can't underestimate Bournemouth. Semenyo is a phenomenal player.
Absolutely. They lost who did they lose in the summer? Huijsen, they lost Kirkes as well. And their defence today was superb. And the thing as well, I think today, I personally think Thomas Frank got it wrong. He got it absolutely spot on against Manchester City, a team that are going to play and try and use the middle of the park. They just kept putting that long ball out to Semenyo. They had that as an option. They could hold the ball. Bournemouth were brilliant today. And I think, again, it's only testament to how this league keeps improving. And the fact that, Bournemouth can keep hold of a player like Semenyo, I think it's testament to them and a great bit of business. But tomorrow, the big game for you, are you excited?
I'm excited, and I want to say this right now. We are going to annihilate Liverpool.
Oh, annihilate. Okay, what does the annihilation at Anfield look like? Tell me, Josh.
Annihilation at Anfield looks like Victor Gyökeres with 2 goals.
Okay.
Brice Eze, 2 assists. And then 1 from Declan Rice. Or Gabriel, because that's what he does. He always scores in the big games.
I will say there's going to be a lot of chances for Arsenal tomorrow at Anfield, I think. I think we've seen there's a frailty in the Liverpool defence at the moment, of course, and that's why they're in advance.
Liverpool are due a beating, and they're going to get it tomorrow.
Listen, Anfield's no easy place to go, but you know what? Arsenal, they're full of confidence. This is going to be a great game to really see, against Leeds. Gyökeres was brilliant, great goal, got the penalty as well. And, he'll be full of confidence going into that game. And you know what's really ironic is the night and day, the fact, Gyökeres starting for Arsenal, getting that really, the confidence going, scoring against Leeds. And then you look at Manchester United, Šeško, they don't even start him. And they're in trouble.
Šeško is still a prodigy, let's be honest. He's still young. The Premier League is a different animal. Victor Gyökeres just showed everybody, absolutely everybody, especially Jamie O'Hara, who said the most outrageous thing I've ever heard in my life.
What did he say, Josh?
He said Richarlison is going to outscore Victor Gyökeres this season.
What is it currently 2-2? They both got 2.
Yeah, he's going to get 2 more.
2 more tomorrow, and Declan Rice on the score. So what, is it going to be a 3-0 annihilation at Anfield tomorrow?
We're going to obliterate Liverpool. Liverpool are a deer in headlights at the moment. They're a deer in headlights. Van Dijk, as amazing as he is, you're now starting to see some frailties. And to the last caller,
Arsenal is that team. We have got the Gerrards. We have got the John Terrys. We've got the David Seaman in David Raya.
Listen,
that geezer
I've said it.
Unbelievable.
Josh, I've said it. I'm a Spurs fan, right? And at the end of the day, one thing I will say about what Arteta and Arsenal have been doing every year, they see an area and they improve. Because you've got to give so much credit to Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's one of the key components of getting the fans back on side. When he came in, his relationship with the Arsenal fans, and when your club was in a real bad place. But then they upgraded to David Raya, who's one of the best keepers in the league, if not the best right now.
And look how ruthless that was.
Yeah,
look how ruthless that was.
But you know what? It's going to take a ruthless performance from Arsenal tomorrow to win like that. Josh, great call. Thank you so much. Still to come, a possible annihilation tomorrow for Liverpool at Anfield. We'll see. Of course, we'll be reacting to that on the final word on talkSPORT, me and Pards. But still to come on talkSPORT this evening, it's the best boxing show in the world on radio. It's Fight Night. And of course, you can't ignore the fact that tonight in Manchester, Misfits, I think 22. I'm sure they'll be talking about that. But for now, keep your calls coming into us 03717 223344 to air your views to the nation on the knockout phone-in. That is Majestic here on talkSPORT.
More green jackets have been lost at the 12th than at the Augusta City Dry Cleaners. Rory McIlroy knows this better than most. But what is Amen Corner and why is it so iconic? The famous sequence has always been there since the Masters began in 1934. It didn't get its name until '58, though, when American sports writer Herbert Warren Wind, on the left, wrote, "At the farthest reach of the Augusta National Course, down in the Amen Corner." He drew inspiration from the 1933 jazz song Shouting in That Amen Corner by the Dorsey Brothers. The reason behind its difficulty is all in the sand and the water. Tournament officials don't even bother to count the balls lost in there each year, such is the sheer number. The 11th, named White Dogwood, is a downhill 520-yard par 4 with a pond to the left of the green and a bunker to the right. Both cause a lot of trouble each year. The 12th, Golden Bell, is perhaps the most famous hole in the world, with danger everywhere. Many aim for the flag, but look, get it even slightly wrong, and you're in the azaleas at the back, or the bunkers at the front, or even worse, Rays Creek. Or you can play it safe and aim for the open green on the left. You chicken. Tiger Woods once said, if you make 4 bogeys from Thursday to Sunday, you're doing well. And the highest ever score on that hole? 13. It's a par 3. Tom Weiskopf in 1980 was the sorry soul. Often the iconic Ben Hogan Bridge is the only thing players enjoy about Golden Bell. Even if you escape there unscathed though, you met with Azalea, the dogleg par 5 13th. It tempts players to go for the green in 2, but cut over those trees on the left at your peril. Every year, it seems, Amen Corner destroys someone's dreams. Rory McIlroy dropped 3 shots through here as his round unravelled in 2011. In 2016, a year after navigating Amen Corner expertly, Jordan Spieth shot a quadruple bogey on the 12th to throw away his green jacket. I mean, it sounds like my game, to be honest. So who'll be the next to be brought to their knees, praying for mercy after Amen Corner?
Good evening and welcome to the best Saturday phone-in show on the airwaves. It's me, Majestic, in for Rory Jennings for what was an action-packed and controversial Saturday in the Premier League and the EFL. It was the day that VAR stole the show with decisions that enraged fans up and down the country, especially at Stamford Bridge. I'm sure Fulham fans will still be fuming about Josh King's goal being controversial. Elsewhere, Newcastle and Leeds draw. Spurs, they lost to a well-drilled Bournemouth side. I was there. Man United beat Burnley with a late penalty, and Everton put in a super attacking performance with Jack Grealish stealing the headlines to defeat Wolves, and Sunderland sent their fans into dreamland with a 95th winner. Remember what Pard says, if you can win 10 games in the Premier League, you're likely to stay out. That's 2 out of 10 for Sunderland. And we want your views on all of those games. But remember, we're live on YouTube and also on your smart TV, where my lovely wife Emma and my kids Leo and Alice are watching. So good evening to you guys. You can watch us there and come and see our brilliant new studio on the 17th floor here in London. But it's now about you and your opinions on the liveliest phone-in on the airwaves. 03717 223344. It's Majestic in for Rory Jennings on talkSPORT. That is right, Monday evening, 7 p.m, the transfer deadline. That's when it is. So lots of business to be done. After watching Spurs today, reinforcements definitely needed at Spurs. Let's go over to Dominic, who's a United fan. He joins us on the show. Good evening, Dominic.
Hi, mate.
How are you feeling today after that win? Relieved?
Yeah, relieved, mate, but we deserved it, so.
In terms of your performance, how do you think the performance was overall?
First half performance, we should have been 3-0 up.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't get me wrong, defensively, weren't the best again, but we deserved to win the game. So, I'm not feeling like we deserved to win the Fulham game. We should have been 3-0 up at half time. Arsenal, we deserved to win. We didn't win, fair enough. Grimsby, awful, but no positive to take from that. But people are just over it, like just jumping on the bandwagon straight away. As soon as United do bad, Jamie O'Hara, Jason Kunde, just annoying.
I think Jamie and Jason jump on any bandwagon when someone does bad with their props. But listen, let's talk as a Man United fan then, Dom. You know, it's been a difficult start to the season. You get to regroup now. You come back after the international break. It's Manchester City and Chelsea, 2 really difficult games. You know, where do you stand with the manager? He's come out and said some peculiar things in the last sort of 48 hours. Where do you stand with him?
He has, but I don't blame him in a way, because he's not the first manager the players have done this to. So I can understand him being frustrated, because when I watch the game, I'm frustrated. Mm-hmm. I don't like the players. When the game finishes, I turn the telly off. I don't like the players. So I can understand why you.
Yeah, but it's different. They're not.
I know it's his job. I know it's his job too. I know. But
As a fan, you could be like, I can't stand this guy. As the gaffer, you can't be like, I can't stand that player over there.
Yeah, of course he can't be doing that because the players play a power these days. But I like him as a person. I like the way he comes across. But obviously, what matters is on the pitch, and it's not working at the minute. Don't know why, but we are creating the chances to win games. We're just not taking them today.
Okay, so this is my question to you, Dom. See what you think of this. You are creating chances, and you're right, against Fulham. There should have been a couple more goals in front. And you had some good chances today, as you said, in the first half, where the game could have been out of sight.
2-3-0.
Yeah,
easily.
But you've got a £75 million striker on the bench that's not starting. Why?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think he should be starting because the only way he's going to find form is by playing football.
You got to feel your way into the league.
Yeah, of course, like what Arteta's done with Djokovic. He's throwing straight in. Don't get me wrong, he scored 2 goals against Leeds. Fair play. But
today could have been Šeško's Leeds. It could have been, against Burnley, at home, Old Trafford, loads of noise, get a goal, confidence flies.
When he come on today, I said to my mate, he'll score the winner. And I did, but then he had 2 good headers. Didn't score him, but...
I mean, he's massive, he's a handful.
Yeah, he's 6'4", isn't he? He should be an handful, but he's just another... It does feel like we're back at square one now. We've got rid of Højlund. He's 22. He's been here 2 years. Now we're back to square one with another 22-year-old who's don't know the Premier League. So it's going to take time to adapt, isn't it? It's just back to square one in my eyes. But I do think he'll be a success. But will he get time? Who knows?
But that's the issue, isn't it? Because like you said, Højlund, I feel so sorry for the young lad because, there was so much pressure on him. There's so much pressure, even more pressure on Šeško now.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't need another 22-year-old striker. We needed an experienced striker like a... I don't think he's the world beater, but Ollie Watkins or...
Ollie Watkins would have been perfect. He's Premier League proven.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a world beater, Ollie Watkins, but he's Premier League proven. He's 29 years of age. He's fighting to get into the World Cup squad next year. He would have been up for
Scoring goals at international level.
Exactly.
Important goals as well.
No, of course. I like Ollie Watkins. He's a good player.
So, in terms of in terms of other fans who are, knee-jerk reactions and they want to hammer him out, where do you stand with him? Are you not one of those fans?
No.
Okay, what would you say to those fans? What would you say? How would you convince them?
I just think you just got to give him time because what he's just boring sacking managers all the time. Who do we get? Gareth Southgate, come on. Let's be real, come on.
Why not Southgate? Why did you say it with such dismissiveness?
Okay, but he ain't a Man United manager. I'm not saying
he was an England manager.
I know, and he done well, but he didn't win nothing. He won nothing.
Ruben Amorim's won nothing so far.
Okay, he's a bad manager. I'm not saying that, but he's not a Man United. But he ain't got the charisma and
he doesn't have the razzmatazz. So are you saying for you, it's aesthetics, it's style over substance? Because I tell you what, Ruben Amorim does talk well. He looks good in the old suit, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, but I don't. As long as you don't win football matches, that means nothing. But he does come across well. I like the way he talks. He talks sense. I'd rather him, when Ten Hag, for example, when we lost, he'd make excuses and I'd watch the thing and I'd go, "There's lying there, mate. I watched 90 minutes of football. You're making things."
But do you know what I realised last week? They say the same things, but Ruben Amorim just says it in a better way, and he just looks better doing it.
Honest.
Brilliant, cool. Thank you very much, Dominic. Let's go to Liverpool now. Let's speak to Ranj, who's a Liverpool fan. How are we, Ranj?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Yeah, listen, exciting tomorrow. As a neutral, the big game tomorrow is Liverpool-Arsenal. How are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, well, I've been waiting on the line for a bit, and I heard the last Arsenal caller, and he's annoyed me.
He said he's going to annihilate you. 2 goals for Gyökeres, a goal for Rice. What's going on?
Absolutely. Look, our defensive situation at the moment, it is bad. The only way we're going to win that game tomorrow, we have to go all-out attack. I don't want the ball near our goal. Oh, yes, we'll concede a lot of goals. He's right in a way, but we need to attack the goal. Constant attack.
Well, this is the one thing that Liverpool have in their armoury, don't they, is that forward line is ridiculous. Like Ekitike's come in, he started life really well. You definitely have got firepower. But that being said, Arsenal's defence and the keeper are fantastic.
I would drop Birchley and I'd put our normal midfield in there, with Slabo, Gravenberg, etc. Because we need I think it's a big game, and I don't think Wirtz is ready yet.
I completely agree with you on that as well. I think that Liverpool midfield that we've seen before that understand it, I think this is the kind of game for them, especially, you know, when you've got the likes of Declan Rice in Arsenal's team there. You know, now they've got Zubimendi as well. I think you're right. I think that should be what the manager should be looking at. But does it feel like you're losing faith in him already if you do that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Give him a few months. I can remember Andy Robertson. He, even though we bought him, he wasn't playing for about 4 or 5 months before Klopp unleashed him. I can remember when we bought him from Hull. He played him after about 5 months, even though we had Moreno on the left back, and he was awful. And then, like Kirkers at the moment, he's not. I don't actually have Robbo there tomorrow.
I think with Kirkers, I think he's trying too hard to impress.
I agree, and I wish he'd defend more than trying to attack. We don't need our wing backs to go up and help our attack. We've got enough firepower up there. And I honestly think tomorrow Arsenal is going to be overconfident, and it's going to work against them. Exactly what AC Milan did with Liverpool in 2005, and that's what's going to happen.
Brilliant. So what do you reckon the score's going to be, Ranj?
I think it's going to be 2-2.
So, a cagey draw at Anfield. I look forward to hearing it. Thank you very much, Ranj. Listen, Liverpool fans, are you out there? Because Josh, the Arsenal fan, earlier today has said that you're going to be annihilated at Anfield. Now, it doesn't very often happen, seeing Liverpool being annihilated at Anfield. That doesn't necessarily ever go down. But Josh, the Arsenal fan, is sure of it tomorrow. He reckons Eberiche Eze on his debut is going to get 2 assists into Gyökeres, who gets 2 more goals, and Declan Rice scores another, making it 3-0 for Arsenal. Do you agree with that? 03717 223344. And the other side of Liverpool, Everton fans, wow. We've got to talk about Jackie Grealish. This could be one of the signings of the summer. It's gone under the radar. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He's out of Tuchel's England squad, but if he plays like this week in, week out, no doubt he'll be back in that next selection. 03717 223344. It's Majestic here on talkSPORT. Give me a call. I want to hear from you now.
Josh King scores his first goal for Fulham, and Fulham lead away at their West London neighbours.
Commits a careless challenge. That is ludicrous. I can't accept that.
Enzo Fernandez, who rams it down the middle of the goal. It hit the legs of Leno, who dived to his right, and Chelsea somehow have a 2-goal lead that they barely deserve.
What about this? 5 minutes gone. Tottenham 0, Bournemouth 1. Evan Nilsson has put the Cherries in front.
Madden Jay's second of the Premier League season, but it's the work again of Jack Grealish in first half. Has been all about Jack Grealish.
My goodness, you can't believe your eyes. I think it's Jadon Anthony who's poked the ball into the back of the net. What is going on with these defences here today? Manchester United 2, Burnley 2.
It is Sunderland 2, Brentford 1. Wilson Isidore on as a substitute.
Wolves 2, Everton 3. They've just grown up. The boys have become men, and it's the substitute, Rodrigo Gomes.
Full time, Leeds 0, Newcastle 0.
Oh, and he's put it in the back of the net. Bruno Fernandes puts the ball in the back of the net. Manchester United 3, Burnley 2 from the penalty spot. A smash and grab at the end of this game.
And that is how it all sounded here on talkSPORT. Well done to my wonderful colleagues at talkSPORT. Do a great job bringing you the sound of Saturdays with the Premier League back and absolutely fine. Of course, talking all things EFL as well. If you do want to get involved, 0371722 3344. Everton. Everyone waxing lyrical about Jack Grealish. I'd love to hear from an Everton fan tonight. And I'm not talking about my producer, Ross. You don't need to call me, mate. We've been talking about it already. 03717 223344. This is my call to the nation. I want to speak to an Everton fan about Jack Grealish. Just how good could Jack Grealish be for Everton this season? And is he the type of player that you've missed in recent years that makes you get off your seats and, you know, you've had some torrid times there at Goodison. It's a new start, it's a new stadium. Moyes back, and Grealish could be the cherry on top of that cake. Let's go over to Tom. He's a Wolves fan. He joins us. Good evening, Tom. How are we?
Good evening, Matt. How you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. Are you disappointed with the result today, or do you think it was a fair victory for Everton?
I was working. I managed to get a stream for it, but I was kind of like on and off looking at it, and I just think our passing today was absolutely shocking from what I caught of it. I think Everton probably did nick it. I was saying to my dad before the game, I would take a draw. I think Everton will be up there fighting for the Conference League and the Europa League. I think they've got a really good team this season. I said to my dad before the transfer window that I would like Grealish down at Wolves. I said that was an option for not a Cunha replacement, but part of that. And I think he is quality, and he was rotten at Man City. So I think that would have been a good option for us anyway. But I was listening to the guys that were on before you, Jamie O'Hara and stuff, and they said about Wolves winning one game in 24 games in August. And they were like, why is that? I can tell you why.
It's got to be the transfers, because you guys don't start until the transfer deadline's over.
Exactly. And it's happened for the last 3 seasons. We sell our best players. You know, we sold Cunha, we sold Rory, which was a stupid fee for Rory. I can't believe he went for so little. And we don't get the replacements in time. Fossen don't care about the club. Jeff Sheet doesn't care about the club. They don't care about the football side of things. They just want to grow this esports. They want to grow this sustainability of a football club, and it's just ridiculous. They care about the esports more than they care about the football club. They don't know how to run one. They suddenly see us at the bottom of the table in December. They sack a manager, get another one in, and then go spend 70-80 million in January and rinse and repeat for the next season. It's just ridiculous. And I think most Wolves fans, if you ask most Wolves fans when they come on your show, would you take relegation and Fossen sell the club, or would you rather stay up in the Premier League and they stay? I think the majority of Wolves fans would say I'd rather get relegated and Fossen sell the club, because fans are sick of them and Jesse.
Well, you look at the last sort of 7 seasons, and you talk about sustainability. Of course, you had that wonderful season finishing 7th again. Then it started to drop down a little bit. The one thing that Wolves do so well, though, is you recruit more great players. But the unfortunate thing for you guys is trying to build that team to progress it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that season that we finished 7th, obviously with Jota and God rest him, and Jimenez and Traore, and they were really clicking. Nuno was brilliant. The connection with the fans, which I think we were starting kind of end of last season to have that connection with Vitor Pereira. He was connecting with the fans again that Gary O'Neill never managed to do. And I think that was a brilliant season. I think it kind of has gone downhill ever since kind of COVID, and Jimenez got that horrible head injury.
Yeah, it was horrible, that.
We never got a replacement for him. You know, we went and spent stupid money on Fabio Silva, which I thought he's a good player, but he's not 35 million at 19 years old.
No.
I think he will go on and be a brilliant striker. I have no doubt with Dortmund, and I think we'll look at that and go, you know, that's what could have happened with us, but Wolves fans judged him too much on his price tag, and it was unfortunate it didn't work out with him. But at the end of the day, you have a world-class striker like Jimenez, and you don't have a decent backup, and it's all gone downhill ever since that season and that horrific injury. And I'm not blaming David Luiz or Jimenez or anyone like that. I'm not saying that, but that's where the issues started to arise and go. Nuno wanted a small team, always worked with a small team, and it's been like that ever since. We've always struggled in squad depth. I don't get why this season we've gone and let Tommy Doyle on loan to Blues. I thought Tommy Doyle, when we did that transfer with Nunes and got him in on loan, got him for stupid little money, it was 5 million, something like that. I thought Tommy Doyle's a really good player.
He really is.
A good backup option. Because, I mean, Andre and João Gomez, they're gone next summer anyway.
Let me just ask you this quickly, just to play devil's advocate, Tom, because, you know, you talk about the sustainability, and the thing is, we see the yo-yoing of these clubs coming up and down from the Premier League. In the last couple of seasons, we've seen it time and time again. To stay in the Premier League, right, when you're not like the traditional Big Six teams, etc., and even, you know, teams like your Evertons and Newcastles, etc., who have been Premier League mainstays for a majority of the time. Look at Crystal Palace. It's taken them a while, but they managed to get some silverware last season. They're in Europe this year as well. Of course, you know, they've had to sell Eze. It looks like Gay might be on his way as well. But with Wolves, this is the longest period of time that you've been in the Premier League for consistency. Is there maybe some light at the end of the tunnel? Is it frustrating to watch the clubs like Palace and Bournemouth, etc., Fulhams that have come up, and they kind of feel like they're kicking on a bit because there's probably maybe a bit more investment at times in those clubs and some great recruitment? Or is it just because from a fan's point of view, it just feels frustrating because you feel like there's a disconnection from the owners and the club?
I think it's exactly that. It's a disconnection between the owners and the fans. That, like I was saying earlier on, the owners don't care about the football side of things. They want to make money. That's what they're here for.
No, but they clearly do care about the footballing side of things, because you said about the sustainability. It's so difficult to run a football team in the Premier League without going down. And, you know, Sunderland have gone out this summer and they've gone really big to spend. If they don't stay in the Premier League this season, they've done really well so far, 2 wins out of 3. If they can get up to 10, that's the magic number Pards always says, right? But if that backfires, then all of a sudden you can find yourself in positions, you know, Luton started falling down, you know, from the Championship, etc. You don't want to be in that position. Wolves are solid and they've been a Premier League mainstay for the last 7 seasons. Perhaps I think saying that they don't care about the footballing side of things might be a little bit harsh, but it just feels like that as a fan.
Yeah, I think it does feel like that as a fan. I mean, when there was earlier on, I can't remember if it was this season or last season, Jeff Shee was sending out emails to fans and was like, maybe if you want Wolves to win and do well in Europe, maybe Wolves isn't the team for you. Jeff Shee doesn't know how to run a football club.
Wow. Okay, that's worse than Amram saying he doesn't like his players at times.
Exactly. And imagine how that looks to players when they're like, oh, okay, Wolves are interested in you, and you see that kind of stuff coming from the owner of that club.
Yeah, it doesn't scream ambition, does it, Tom? Tom, great call. Thank you very much, and love your passion. This Monday, the transfer window slams shut at 7 p.m, not 11, like usual. It's at 7 p.m, and live into a Deadline Day special with Mr. Deadline Day himself, Jim White, our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, and former Liverpool midfielder, Danny Murphy. No doubt there'll be some golden ties on. Join Jim, Alex, Danny, and a host of insiders and experts from 6:30 following a special Deadline Day drive show with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent, analysing and dissecting all the last-minute deals on Deadline Day. talkSPORT will give you the inside track on who your club are signing and keep you up to date with all the latest deals as they happen. There's going to be a lot of movement, I'm telling you now. But right now, keep your calls coming into us. 03717 22 334. We'll hear from you next on the Majestic phone in here on talkSPORT.
I want to quit.
is like a reworking of Arnold Van Helden's You Don't Know Me. Wow, I like it. 03717223344. It is, of course, not Rory Jennings. It's me, Majestic, in for Rory Jennings here on the Saturday evening phone-in, where you get to have your say to the world on the almighty talkSPORT. And don't forget, I'll be back on your radio tomorrow from 6:30 alongside my usual... I feel lonely without him next to me. With my usual co-host, Mr. Alan Pardew. It's like you with me, mate. I've seen him, though.
I want to quit.
I don't want to quit without him. I've seen him, though, flirting with other people this weekend on the TV. I see your Pards. Let's talk about some of the rest of the weekend's action before we go back to the calls. Brighton take on Manchester City. City need to bounce back after that loss at home to Spurs. Nottingham Forest, West Ham. Now, this is a huge game for West Ham. If they go into the international break with 0 points on the board, it's going to be problematic. And also, talkSPORT understand that Spurs... I'm sorry to say this, Hammers, because I've got a lot of West Ham fans. I've got a lot of West Ham family. Spurs are interested in Paqueta. And I tell you something, in Spurs today, we could very, very much do with someone like Paqueta. Liverpool will be taking an Arsenal as well. We'll be taking calls on that game from 6:30 tomorrow. And Liverpool have this evening made a bid for Palace defender Mark Gahey. More details on our website, talksport.com. And Villa take on Palace tomorrow live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. I've been talking about Everton. I asked for an Everton fan, and you guys are amazing. I asked for something, you deliver. I've got Dean. He was at the game today. How are we, Dean?
All right, mate. You okay?
You must be feeling pumped as an Everton fan right now. Beautiful new stadium. Jackie Grealish. Moisey's home. It feels right.
Oh, yeah. On cloud now, mate. Honestly, on cloud now. On cloud now with the old thing. Well, if we want to talk about Jack Grealish, what a player. What a player. Obviously, with the Samuels in Man City, last 1 or 2 years, he hasn't had the luck in. He hasn't been in the team. But to come into Everton and to just turn it on straight away, it's a story, isn't it? It's a story.
And Dewsbury Hall as well. Wow.
Dewsbury Hall, what a sign. I'd say about Dewsbury Hall, 25 million to Everton. You think any team in the bottom half, any bottom half teams could have signed him, and probably majority of top half teams, he could probably get into most teams there as well. But for 25 million, it's a steal.
And you've still obviously got Tyler Diblin to come in as well. It just feels like, and I felt for Everton fans because, you're such a big club. You've been through it. And it feels like there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, especially going into the new stadium and just having a maverick like Jack Grealish playing but enjoying himself.
That's it. Yeah, it's like it was the money making signing, wasn't it? It was like. Sorry, 10 years where we've made signings where we've signed big players and they haven't brought off. They haven't brought off at all.
Yeah.
But I'd say now, Jack Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, we're making the right types of signings. I'd say now the right types of signings.
And how much of this do you think is to do with David Moyes? Because I just feel sometimes there's managers and clubs that go together and they belong together. David Moyes and Everton are one of those.
Yeah, definitely. Like I always say, it's like my second half fella in a way. It's like my second dad. Like I grew up with him. I'm only 26 years of age, so I've grew up with David Moyes throughout my childhood, and for him to come back for a second term and to sort of get the team into motion, because before the managers that we've had in the past, we had Benitez, we've had Koeman, we've had Lampard, we've had Allardyce.
You even had Ancelotti. You had the Don at one point.
Even Ancelotti, yeah, that was a love story cut short. But
yeah.
I'd say with Moyes coming back, it's sort of something that we needed to stabilise. But now that we've stabilised, he's sort of taken us maybe to the next step as well.
And you know what he does really well with Everton is he understands the league so well and how to be pragmatic at times. But he understands with the Everton fans that there's a style of football you like to play as well. You want to be excited. You don't want it to be a Sean Dyche type DNA. That's what was always the issue. And now you've come through that. It's now looks like it can be an enjoyable watch for you guys, because that was always the thing with Moyes. He had really pragmatic ways with Everton, but there were times you'd be able to turn it on at the right moments. He does that, and I think you've got the right players, especially with Tyler Diblin coming in right now. What a prospect he is. I think you've had a great window.
That's it. Even looking now, Tyler Dimmon's not even going to get a sniff in. Do you know what I mean? which is unbelievable for Everton, because if you look at last season, we had Jack Harrison from Leeds starting there enough every game. We racked up I don't even think he racked up an assist. Whereas now we've got Grealish who's come in and he's already racked up 4 assists. Yeah. But it's like, and then you've got options off the bench with Alcaraz, with Ziblin, stuff like that, players like that. Well, whereas
if Grealish, and it keeps continuing in this form, let's hope that Grealish rewards your trust in him by going, you know what, I'm an Evertonian now.
Yeah, 100%.
Rather than using it as a springboard.
Yeah. If we can get that buyback clause back, I'll take him all day. But even if we want to pay the 50 million, I'll pay the 50 million tomorrow.
Brilliant call. Thank you very much, Dean. Apologies as well if anyone did hear any foul language. Dean's just very excited. He's been through it as an Everton fan. And now he's getting to watch Jack Grealish. I'll tell you something. I would have taken Jack Grealish at Tottenham in an instant. The way that we are writing off players nowadays because they're a bit out of form, etc., class and quality, they last forever. And I tell you what, there needs to be questions for me, personally, for Phil Foden. Needs to be having a look at his career at Manchester City at the moment, not really getting any game time, not in Thomas Tuchel's plans at the moment. If I'm Phil Foden, if I'm not playing regularly by January especially, then he needs to be looking for maybe a loan deal. Let's go over to Kieran. He's a Liverpool fan ahead of that big game tomorrow against Arsenal at Anfield. How are we, Kieran? Are you excited? Have we got Kieran? Is he there? He's so excited his phone line's not working. Let's go over to another... Oh, no, we got him. Are you there, Kieran?
Can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you now, my friend. Are you okay? Oh, I think we'll go back to Kieran in a moment. The line's not great. Let's go over to the other side of Merseyside. Let's go to Chris, an Everton fan, joins us. It's brilliant. I'm speaking to most of the north of England today. How are we, Chris?
Really good. How are you?
Look, the spring in the step of the Evertonians tonight. Didn't it feel better putting your feet up on a Saturday night after enjoying your football?
Oh, mate, listen, I'm nearly 47, so I've seen the great Everton side, and I've seen the not-so-great Everton side. And this is just typical Moyes. He's bringing players in, he's putting his arm around them, he's encouraging them, he's giving them the faith. Dewsbury Hall and Grealish, Barry's come in, looked really effective. It's just a typical Moyes. And you know what? We're on the up now. We're looking up. We're not going to get unrealistic. We need to push for like a conference league.
Oh, that would be great. It's a great starting place.
It's a great starting place, but we're all optimistic. We've got a fantastic ground. We're filling it every game. The football we're playing is fantastic. The only thing which was the negative today was the defence, which is unlike Everton, but we got Branthwaite to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So things are on the up. And, I think we'll probably get another 3 players in by the end of the window. I think another striker will come in, the right back, and another number 6, because obviously we'll lose Idrissa Gueye, we'll lose Ndiaye for the African Cup of Nations, and Senegal will probably go quite far in that.
Yeah,
cracking
they've got a good team.
So, yeah, they have got a very good team.
You mentioned Barry there, right? He's come in from Villarreal, £30 million. Last year in the Liga, 11 goals in 35 appearances. I think that signing's gone a little bit under the radar. Because, people are raiding the Bundesliga for people getting similar numbers for 70s and 80s. I think he could be a real big part in that sort of Moyes, the new revolution.
Oh, absolutely. He's a rough diamond. Listen, he's making mistakes. His pattern's not great, but his hold-up play looks good. He's turning in behind really quickly. He's intelligent. He'll learn. He will learn. Moyes is the correct manager to learn from. And, he'll be watching Grealish in training. He'll be watching Ndiaye. He'll be watching Dewsbury Hall. He'll be learning. He's a young kid. He's got a head on his shoulders. His work rate's phenomenal. He's a work in progress.
You mentioned his hold-up play. He looks strong. You know what I mean? The passing at the moment looks a little bit reckless at times, but the strength on him, you're throwing it back to the days of the Yak at Everton. Having a focal point up top for you guys is important, I think.
Absolutely. And, we had Dom for years. Dom done a cracking job. Can't knock the guy. But he was one thing, Dom. He could hold up and head the ball. Now, I think Barry can be something more complete. Like Rom. You see he's running. Like Rom used to run into the channels. Yeah. You can see Barry wants to do that. If he could be half the player that Rom was, for the price we've paid, then happy days.
22, 30 million, I think it's a great deal. Like you said, conference potential for the Europe, is that the expectation or the want?
You've got to be realistic. Listen, where we've been over the last couple of years, we've had no money. The football's been dire, and it's no fault of Dyche, to be fair. I'm not gonna badmouth the guy. He got us through a really bad time, and I think every true Evertonian will thank him for
and the right man to steer the ship at that time.
Absolutely. No one else could have dealt with that. No one else could have dealt with the pressure. He took the pressure off the players. He took it on himself. And Moyes has come in. You've seen at the end of last season, was it top 5 form under Moyes?
Yeah.
You know, he just lifts the club. He knows the club. He is the club, isn't he? You know, and we just need to be realistic. We don't need anyone to say we should be pushing for this. Listen, if we get Europa, yeah, that is incredible, and it just shows your progress. You know, we've not had this opportunity for years because we've not had the investment. Now we've got it. And he's spending it wisely. He's not spending it on silly figures.
Agreed with that as well. And I'm looking at your next. I'm looking at your next 6 fixtures, right? 4 of them are at home, and the thing is, you've got the ability to make that a new fortress. That could be the thing, you know. Every time you go out there, of course, there's a Merseyside derby in that. You go away to Manchester City as well, but you know, you host Aston Villa at home, and then it's the Merseyside derby, and then it's West Ham at home, and then Palace at home. You know, the fixtures look, you know, very competable. Let's just say nothing's winnable in the Premier League. I think every game can go either way. It's so difficult to call. That's why I say doing a accumulator in the Premier League is one of the hardest things to do. But I think Everton and the way that they're playing and Jack Grealish getting his swag back, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable season for Evertonians.
No, absolutely. It's lovely to see a smile on his face. I think the whole country's made up to see Jack with a smile on his face.
I think they are. He's a very likeable chap, isn't he? Chris, enjoy your Saturday evening. That's what football can do to you. In an instant, it can change around all the doom and gloom. Everton fans stopped calling us for a bit on talkSPORT. They were so done. And now I can hear the joy in their voices. Of course, tomorrow there's a big game between Liverpool and Arsenal. Let's try and get Kieran back. Kieran, are you there, mate? I don't think Kieran wants to talk to us tonight.
I'm here, brother. Can you hear me?
I've got you, Kieran. You're here.
Can you hear me? I'm here.
I can. Tomorrow, big game tomorrow.
Yes, brother. How are we doing?
Yeah, I think we've got a bit of a delay. I don't know if you've got your radio turned up. 3717 223344. And remember, you can hear all of Sunday's goals as they go in on our brilliant YouTube show, Goals, tomorrow from 2. And then I'll be back with the experienced Premier League manager. Some call him a legend, so do I. Alan Pardew taking your calls from 6:30 right here on talkSPORT, which includes coverage of Aston Villa taking on Pardews' former team, Crystal Palace, in the Premier League. But for now, Kilo's calls coming in 03717 223344. It's me, Majestic, here, Saturday night, talkSPORT. All right, our kids, it's talkSPORT, and our biggest competition to date has launched today. I'm going to stop the Manchester accent. We're giving you the chance to win Oasis tickets, plus a whopping 25 grand. 2 lucky winners, not 1, but 2, will win a pair of Oasis tickets when they return to Wembley on the 27th of September. Plus, that's not all. Alongside the tickets, we're giving you once again the chance to win a whopping £25,000. For all the details on how to enter this amazing competition, listen up now, our kid.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word Oasis to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. Or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by the 19th of September at 9 a.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Right, before we get back to your calls, let's hear from some of the Premier League managers making the headlines today. Thomas Frank, the Spurs manager, spoke to talkSPORT after his side's 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth, and here's what he had to say.
Of course, I hope for a better result, but even more important, a better performance. I think today was a bad performance. I think we played against a good Bournemouth team. I think they played well. They played exactly into their strength, exactly how we expected. We just didn't handle it well enough. Fair play to Bournemouth, they deserve to win. I hope that we would have done better, especially, how can you say, phase 1 or 2 or with the ball. We struggled to get out of their pressure. We didn't do that well enough. That's a learning I take away, that we need to improve. Put a little bit of pressure on the last 15. Could have got away with a draw, but I think it was fair we lost.
Do you envisage any more arrivals between now and 7 o'clock on Monday?
We are still in the market. We always look see if we can improve the squad. So let's see.
Are you confident you might get something?
Obviously, let's see. We're working on it, but it's not like we're desperate anyway. Only players that can improve the team.
Spurs boss Thomas Frank there speaking to Alex Crook after the side's 1-0 defeat against Bournemouth, which brings me on nicely to talking about deadline day, 7 o'clock Monday. What does Spurs need before the deadline day? I was there today against Bournemouth, and for me, Bournemouth, they were first to all the second balls. They were able to defend with discipline. They were brilliant today, and fair play to Bournemouth. But Spurs, they need that player that can unlock those defences when they start doubling up, when they start locking the door, the double lock, so to speak. I think, Tell, Odobert, young prospects, even Brendan Johnson, young prospects doing really well. But I do feel we need Premier League proven players that can come in straight away and add to that support line, especially in the 10 role. And out wide on the left. I think Kudus has been a fantastic signing. Palhinha, although didn't look too sharp today, that's a great signing. But I do think we need to make sure that we've got enough in that sort of forward role. I'd love another centre forward, but where are they? We're going to hijack the Isaac deal? I don't think so. So for me, there's talks of Paqueta. I'd love him. I'd love Paqueta. I know the West Ham fans would not want to hear that, but that's definitely a player that would suit what Thomas Frank's trying to do at Spurs. But we need more bodies in. Akanji as well, especially if we're loaning out players from that area. We need support and we need more players in there. So that's what I would say if I was doing the business at Spurs. I definitely think in those areas, that's where we need to improve. Kudus today, I feel, later on in the game, he was able to grow into getting the ball passed on the right-hand side, but we need that on the left as well, and it's a bit unbalanced. So I think that's what Spurs need to be doing in the transfer window. Let me know what you think Spurs need. If you are a Spurs fan, you can tweet me at Majestic Online or X me or 03717223344. I'm going to be on with Pards tomorrow. But straight up after me here on talkSPORT is a show that I regularly listen to, and a good friend of mine and the host of that show joins me in the studio right now, Mr. Gareth A. Davies. How are we, Gareth?
I'm very well, Madge. How are you?
I'm excited to be here to see the show. Big show tonight. We be covering any of the Misfits is going on tonight, isn't it?
Oh, we're going to talk about the Misfits.
You can't ignore it, can you?
It was a very quiet Boxing Week, so I did find myself watching the bits and bobs, and we're going to talk about it, Adam Cattrall and myself, at 9:45. But before that, we're going to do 45 minutes chat on the moving heavyweight scene at the moment. Complaints about Alexander Usyk dancing this week, even though he's meant to be injured. Have you seen it? He looked like he was at one of your gigs in Ibiza. The boy can dance.
He dance. He loves high-tempoed stuff. He loves a bit of drum and bass. He does request it when we're doing the music.
He does a lot of this with the upper body, and he does a lot.
But you know what? He's got every right to dance. He's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and the generational great.
All right, we're going to talk our top 10 pound for pound as well tonight. Ooh. Where have you got him in yours?
Oh, at the moment, he's number one. He's got to be, for me, number one. You know, he's a man that's gone up a division, absolutely dominated it. Every test he's been given, he's passed with flying colours, you know. And I feel until he goes, that's just going to be the champion for it. You know, you're thinking when he's coming across Dubois for the second time, an aged, it could be the turning of the guard, a bit like AJ and Klitschko. It wasn't.
He gets better when he meets someone a second time.
Yeah. Downloads
what they call the data these days. And he produces brilliant performances. You were there doing the music at Wembley, as you always are. You're a fixture now in the
I am indeed.
world. And you know, tonight we're going to have Sam Noakes in the studio. He's coming up for a world title. Frank Warren's guy's 29 coming up.
I used to work in Cavos with his brother.
Did you?
I did indeed.
Did you?
Big shout to Alfie.
Oh, really? Brilliant. See, you've got the tentacles across everything. So we got a big show tonight, as always.
Will we see Moses Aitoma against Usyk before Usyk's sunset?
If Moses Aitoma is ready and holds a world title by the end of next year, which he may very well do if he fights Ajit Kabayel, or if he fights Fabio Wardley, or he fights Joseph Parker, those are the probable outcomes next year. He's got to have a fight first.
And surely Usyk has to fight Joseph Parker. Parker's deserving of it.
We shall see. We're going to discuss that tonight, and we think there's still a chance that Usyk could fight Tyson Fury a third time. There's a lot going on at the moment behind the scenes that we want to analyse in the heavyweight division, but Parker definitely deserves a shout against Alexander Usyk.
Brilliant. That's coming up at 9 o'clock tonight.
Till midnight.
Brilliant. It's going to be a great show as always. Gareth, thank you for joining me. I'll be listening intently. Might even stick around.
You can come on the show. We can talk heavyweight boxing.
Let's do it
all night long.
Let's go for it. Thank you very much. That is Fight Night. Adam Cattrall and the legend that is Gareth A. Davies after this show. Let's go straight to the phone lines. He was at the game today. Chris, the Bournemouth fan. Evening, Chris.
Majestic, how you doing, buddy?
First of all, I've got to salute your fans today. You were absolutely tremendous. In voice, in spirit, you rocked the house today.
It was amazing. I obviously has had a great start this season. 2 good wins, and Thomas Franks, I think he's going to be amazing for Tottenham. And I was worried. I was getting in the car. I was like, this is going to be the Thomas Franks revolution. I thought we'd go there, and I thought we would struggle. I thought Tottenham would play better than us. But to be fair, I thought we were the better team in all areas. The final 30 minutes of the game, like 25 minutes, Tottenham were putting the pressure on, and I had the percentages. But even then, Bournemouth were on the break. Semenyo could have scored another 2. I just thought, and then to bring on Ryan Christie, obviously injury, Cliver, to bring those players on, and then again Christie came on and he just played so well, and then we were just the better side, and I was just absolutely buzzing. The fans were buzzing, as you say.
It was.
I thought Tottenham would be better. I really thought they. I think it will be. I think they will. I think Thomas Franks. I think Tottenham will be. I think they'll be top 5 this year. I think.
I just think today Thomas Frank got it wrong in terms of what he played in the middle of the park today. I think it wasn't needed. I don't think you guys were playing centrally through. You kept looking for that ball out to Semenyo, which, mate, that player is unbelievable. And I've got to doff my cap to your centre-halves, Sensei and Diakite. I think that's how you say it. Brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant today, and well done and well deserved, Chris. You deserve the victory today, and you must be a happy cherry on the way home. Thank you very much, Chris, the Bournemouth fan there. I wish I could be doing more with you, but we got the amazing Fight Night coming up next here with Adam Cattrall and Gareth A. Davies. As you heard from the man himself, they're going to be talking all things heavyweight boxing, pound for pound, top 10. It's going to be a great show. That's all from me tonight. Thank you for everyone calling the show. Rory Jennings returns next Saturday from 7:30 off the back of England taking on Andorra. But coming up next, as I said, Adam Cattrall and Gareth A. Davies discussing their top 10 favourite heavyweights on the brilliant Fight Night. And I'm back tomorrow from 6:30 alongside the legend that is Alan Pardew. From me, Majestic, have a wonderful evening. I'll see you tomorrow.